Hi, this is the Tamra Wade Show, and this is Tamra Wade. Welcome, and we're glad you're joining us on Monday, March 23rd, 2020. And we wanted to just say that our prayers are with all of those that are being affected by COVID-19, be it, whatever you're being affected by. And so we're thinking of everybody and all trying to get through this right now. And we've got Sean with Brand Lift. He's here with me, and we are going to do a podcast specifically to realtors right now who are trying to decide whether to sit on the sidelines right now or get in the game with this crazy unknown market.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Tamra. We're at a time right now where we're getting new information daily. So, we may have to do these every day just to kind of inform everybody what's going on. So, yeah, today we wanted to talk about agents and realtors and what to be doing during this time of change. And there again, all these things that we're going to talk about could change within the next week. But I know a couple of things we're going to go over today are staying on offense instead of defense, because we just talked about that before we got on this call, is that too many people during this time, not only just in the real estate industry, but other industries, are taking the defense and they're just kind of sitting back. Let's see what's going to happen. We'll figure it out when we come out of this. But Tamara and I are smart enough to know that you can't do that. This past week for my business, I run a marketing agency. It's like we've been on the phone every day with Zoom calls just like this, informing people, going through strategies, helping some companies pivot, like what they're doing now, what they're selling, how they're selling. So in this day and time right now, what we're going through, you have to change a few things up, and that's what we're going to talk about. So, Ms. Tamara, what is some of the biggest things the Tamara Way team and Remax True has already changed and implemented for this quarantine and distancing?
So we're just following the typical guidelines right now. So the washing your hands, the social distancing, that kind of thing. We're constantly, though, changing and taking more and more precautions. I think the biggest thing is for me as a business owner, and we've got a lot of realtors out there that they have teams and also brokers that are similar to me as well. And it's, educating yourself on what is going on in the market. Also listening to what from the medical side, like what are what is being passed out there and that kind of thing, and understanding a lot of different things. Even like I never thought I'd be listening to, what the government's going to pass with regards to different stimulus and, different things with legislation and whole nine yards, and small businesses and how they affect it. So, it's really opened my eyes right now to a lot of different things as a business owner that I need to be looking at.
Yeah, so you're talking about the stimulus. Let's talk about that first then.
Mm-hmm.
The what was it, 1 trillion plus stimulus that's going to happen from a real estate perspective. How's it going to help or change anything that's currently going on?
It's going to be an influx into the market. Already we're seeing the feds that are putting some unprecedented amounts in to try to help get the rates more under control. Rates ended last week pretty high for what we've been used to, not as high as what they've been, but
Right.
when you start cresting 5% on something, that's, on a conventional, that's kind of a little different from what we've been used to. But then today, the rebound is we're seeing rates in the threes again, mid to high threes, which is pretty good. And, obviously based on credit score and price point and everything, but, without any basis points and stuff like that. So I was excited to see that. One of the things I did is emailed out and Facebook on our private page to all of our agents in the brokerage, be it new or resale, and said, look, if your clients haven't locked, you need to be talking to them. You need to be on top of it, and you need to be every single day. Like, that's something I think we've let our lenders do sometimes. And now it's, hey, you're the professional, you're the expert. Your clients are looking to you to give guidance, and that's one thing you need to be really familiar with.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think now that we've going through this trying times, is that realtors need to really step up their game even more. Not only go on offense, but like you said, get more involved. Be watching the rates. Have your lenders contact you daily. Make sure you know what the rates are. And a lot of realtors probably don't know. And they do need to know that. So, what are some of the other things? I know we've discussed changing it up a little bit. We had a call, I believe, on Saturday that we did a podcast one of the big things the realtors need to do during this time is to clean up and segment their database,
Mhm.
start using their database because we all know that there's gold in your contacts in your database. So talk a little bit about that, what maybe you guys are changing or what realtors should be doing with their current lead sources and their past clients. What's something that you would recommend?
Call them. Literally pick up the phone. There's a lot of people at home right now, and in the past you haven't
Sure.
been able to get a hold of them because they're in the office, and
Yeah.
so now they're at home, they're at your disposal, and they're some of them are pretty much probably wanting to talk, even just to ask you questions about the
Yeah.
market. So you never know, there might be, they may not be ready to do anything, but somebody typically knows somebody who knows somebody, and I
Oh
mean
yeah.
there's a domino
Are you
effect.
are you saying that maybe they're getting tired of their kids and they're ready to talk to somebody else?
They might be tired of being a teacher at this
Yeah.
point. I mean, it's, I do have a definite respect for teachers because
Yeah.
I do believe that they have to have the patience and the knowledge to deal with young ones, and me having three young ones at home. Last
Yeah.
Monday I was at home when I worked from home that day, and it was a challenge, trust me.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, another part of that too is like we mentioned this on Saturday, is that reaching out to your past clients is big. To check on them.
Hmm.
Just start a relationship, nurture and continue to go deeper with that relationship. Because if anything is going to change from all this, is I think as a country, people are going to start learning to maybe slow down a little bit,
Hmm.
connect, and get to know everybody even better. And a lot of good things are going to come out of this. One of the things I had written down here we're going to talk about is, you know, as far as marketing perspective side, since I run an agency, is that how important, even now more so today, is social media, Facebook, Instagram, even YouTube channel, LinkedIn, is, utilizing these channels as far as you can go with it. Like, not only just organic posting, but doing videos, just like I guarantee you, I wish I would have bought some stock in Zoom, by the way, about 2 weeks
Me
ago,
too.
because now everybody's getting Zoom and doing these calls.
Right.
Um, but video is going to be huge. I mean, from now until even after we get through this. So, what do you guys have in place or going to put in place on the video side? Are you increasing the lives, or how do you do it? I know you got kind of a schedule for the live videos, but what's going to be different now?
So one of the things, first thing this morning, had a meeting with our marketing director and specified that we want all of our agents for the new home side to go out into every single spec that they've got that will show, you know, nicely, because some of them are at different stages of construction, but the ones that are at that point that can show, they go ahead and do a video and send
Hmm.
them in, because we want to get them in our listings and also on our website. So that's something that we're going to do. And the other thing is even talking to you, trying to decide what kind of ad spend I want to do with Facebook, because right now, you hear a lot of people are saying, I'm just going to wait this out. I got to save my money for the rainy day. And I'm like, well, the rainy day is here. So,
You're right.
what are we going to do? And, people want, your customers that are out there want to see you as the trusted authority.
Hmm.
You're kind of like the superhero of real estate right now. They want you to kind of, give them that guidance. And so, making sure that you're doing those things, and maybe, changing up your ads to let people know that you are here, that you can give them the information that they need. And if they want to see a house and, that's something you're comfortable with, then let them know. And then also let them know that if they don't want to physically go in person, that you have other options for them to see a house. And, with the rates as good as they are, we've got to figure out how to help them take advantage of a good opportunity.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Is that on the marketing side, if you are a realtor, now's not the time to cut off your marketing and your ad spend. You need to stick with it. And just like Tamara just said, change up your messaging a little bit to not only, let them know that you're here, but speak in that voice that, hey, times are tough, but because of the virus and everything that's going on, we're still here. Rates are good. We're still doing virtual tours. If you can't come out, speak to them in a way that they want to hear it, so that when you get that actual lead, you can actually help them. But we've talked to a lot of not only agents but other businesses in the past week. You'd be surprised how many people are pulling out of, the marketing ad spend right now. That's a good. This is a good time for somebody to jump in and get a piece of that, what we call market share within the social. So if you're an agent and you've been thinking about not continuing your ad spend, don't do it. Stay in. Just you gotta. The ones that stay on offense right now are the ones that's going to come out at the end of this on top. That's
And
just.
I mean, I know from experience. So I got, I had been in new homes for 10 years, and then we had our market crash and jumped over to general real estate back in 2009, 10-ish. And at that point, I was thinking outside box marketing and doing different types of things while, I was out there, Mark Spain, and several others. And we continued on. We just changed up what we were doing, but we worked hard, we worked smart, and
Mm-hmm.
were able to rebound through that. And, today, still thriving, so for me, it's right now, at least with my team, and then also we're going to do this on the Tamra Wade team page. That's the public page, is just help others. I want to coach through this. I love this kind of stuff. I love challenges. So, I'm right now spending tons of time figuring out what others are doing in the market. I have access to some of the top players across the country. What are they doing that others aren't?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's not a lot of money you have to spend to do it. It's just being different and being out there. So, one of the things, we were saying was, as far as marketing, you don't have to cast a big net. Like, one thing would be right now, there's downsizers are still out there, and even more so than ever. They've watched their stocks go kind of crazy, and they've seen different things, and so they might be more stimulated now to downsize. So targeting them, or the elderly who have been maybe distant from family members, once they get
Mm-hmm.
through this, want to be closer to family members. So there's ways you can do it to where you're not just like every other agent out there, and you can target through Facebook certain people based on those different things. And
Mm-hmm.
so, that's really important to be thinking about, and bouncing ideas off others and doing lots of research. Google is amazing for finding some great things out there, and YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. I would add to this on, if the lead side, if you're still continuing to do ad spend, is that any of the realtors listening, is that you need to make sure you kind of change your follow up as well. This is an important time to not to just expect like every lead that you get, like it's going to be a deal. You've got to nurture these people, because a lot of these that you might talk to in the next month or so, they may not even do anything for 3 to 6 months. But guess what? You need to really talk to them, spend time with them, get them either on a drip campaign, callbacks. This is something that you may have to, do over a period of time, because we talk to a lot of agents weekly, and a lot of them are expecting, deals like right away. Well, that may not happen every day right now. So they just got to nurture. So that's, if they're going to spend on ad spend, make sure that, that you're actually nurturing the leads until it gets time for them to actually purchase. Or in this case, like you're talking about listing, could be more listings coming up if people are downsizing, or the older ones moving closer to their family. So you never know.
You never know. I mean, I some of the things that I did 10 years ago, I'm recommending that agents here do is, every time you talk to somebody, even if it's not right now that they're ready, get the details of what they would be looking for in a home, put them into a search, be it an FMLS or, with Remax, you can do it, through Booge, and you can actually, where they're getting updates from you daily of houses that are hitting the market and that kind of stuff. So you're just kind of like front of mind, and you're not having to do anything because you've
That's
set it
it.
up and it's just pumping it out for you. I mean, that's how I got a lot of my leads. And it was always like a nice like surprise when all of a sudden somebody be like, I'm ready. So, that's, some things that you need to do, but don't just talk to somebody, hang up the phone, write your notes, and think you're going to call them back,
That's it.
because you get busy with other things. So you need to
That's
have
right.
some of your tools working for you.
Yeah. Leverage automation any way that you can to handle all of your leads. Because one another thing too, a lot of realtors out there buy leads from different sources. And I've had these conversations before. They feel like that certain online platforms are like a necessary evil to get leads from that one, and I won't mention that big one's name. But and yet they don't do anything with them. They call them once and they're done. And you can't do that right now. Right now, it's very important to speak with every possible lead that you have, help people, educate them, let them know, how you're doing business. I guess to this point, even as of today is Monday, um, what are the Melloway closings? Everything is being done different right now in Georgia than it is in California, Washington, and the Northeast, because I think a lot of those areas are completely stopped right now with real
Right.
estate. So at least, our governor here is keeping us going. So it's business as usual, but things are changing up. Or anything else you can add to the call before we get off that could help any of the realtors that are out there, whether it's a single producing real estate agent that's on their own, or a team or a broker. What's some really good advice that you could give anybody listening right now?
I think the big thing is like, so when they're calling their database, don't, like, if you just have a conversation with them, don't just hang up and say, it was great talking to you, bye. Is kind of let them know, I'll be checking back with you. Is there a good time of day that I can call you again? That kind of stuff, because you don't want to close that conversation. You want to kind of leave that window open, and also ask, be sure you're asking, hey, do you know somebody? So that may be looking, or somebody else that just wants some information on what's going on in the market and that kind of thing. So I think you need to be planning on spending at least, I'm looking at my notes, but at
Yeah.
least spending, a couple hours a day on the phone. One of the things that I know that I did years ago when I was actively working with buyers a lot, was at the end of the day, I would always look at myself in the mirror and I would always say, did you do everything you could for your family today, to, bring money in and, make a living? And did you ask the right questions? And did you try to close somebody? That kind of stuff. And so I think
Hmm.
that's the key thing, is like, if you're going to commit to 2 hours, you need to do that. But if you think you're just going to send a couple emails or texts and, just do willy-nilly type stuff, I mean, you're not going to make it, or you're not going to do as well as you would hope in this kind of a market. It's the fighters, the ones that are in there every day giving it their all and not taking it that, oh, well, everybody's gone home, let's just forget about things. It's the ones that are like, no, I'm going to fight, I'm going to survive, and they will.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What you're talking about, this is a long play when it comes to real estate. If you're just, we say this all the time, you can't be just picking apples. You got to plant seeds and grow that orchard, because
Yeah.
6 months, 12 months from now, you'll be glad you did, and all the other agents will be going out of your way. So to kind of wrap up, this is all about being on offense. If you're in real estate, you can't sit on the sidelines. You can't wait this out, because what's going to happen is that when we get to the end of this, the ones that are sitting on the sideline may be on the sideline for good. So you got to
Hmm.
step up and be on offense. Thanks for having me again on the show today.
Thank you. And for more information, you're absolutely welcome to follow the Tamra Wade team Facebook page. Our website is tamrawade.com. And if you want to give us a call, 770-502-6230. So have a great day and look forward to more upcoming information for the days ahead.
See you guys. Y'all have a good day.